All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone who grew well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word, love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And this video was inspired by some legislation that got passed. I forgot what state it was in, but this guy is basically trying to make it illegal for an American citizen to have dual citizenship. So we're going to let this video play and we'll get some scripture.
Normally do this, but we have some breaking news regarding citizenship and Americans holding dual citizenship, and it's not good. Today, Republican Senator Bernie Moreno introduced the Exclusive Citizenship Act of 2025, which aims to ban dual citizenship in the United States. This would affect millions of Americans. He stated about this bill that you owe America all of your allegiance and that it's, quote, all or nothing. This bill aims to forcibly remove dual citizenship from American citizens. If they do not comply, their American citizenship will be taken away. So here are my honest, unfiltered first thoughts about this bill. What the actual fuck? This is absolutely terrifying. I cannot believe this is actually being floated as an idea. I recently found out that I have Canadian heritage and I applied for Canadian citizenship. And I'm telling you right now that if this law passes, I'm going to choose Canada. And I'm not being an edgy America bad person about this. I'm just saying I would rather pick the country that gives me the freedom of choice than the country that is making me prove allegiance. That to me seems like a no-brainer. So I know on this app, there's always this vibe of you need to leave the country now. They're going to try to lock us in. They're not going to let us leave. And for months and months and months, I have been pushing back against that narrative. I've been saying that it's fear-mongering, that I don't really buy into it. I'm still not fully sold that they're trying to lock us in this country, but you know what? Some people are at this point, because this bill aims to take away avenues to live in other places and to leave the country. And the scariest thing about it is a lot of these crazy laws that we've been seeing in these past couple of years, this is how they start. It starts as some crazy idea that everyone's like, oh, that'll never pass. And then before we know it, these things pass. So yes, I'm legitimately terrified. But here's my advice. If you have your family tree and you know that you can apply for dual citizenship somewhere else, get it done now rather than later, because we actually don't know if that is going to be an opportunity in the future. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you are planning on exiting the United States, moving abroad to another country, I would recommend maybe seeing if you can speed that up. I'm not trying to be fear-mongering, but if things like this are getting introduced in Congress, I do not have good feelings about the future of this country. All right, I don't know.
And that is actually true. Okay, this guy, whoever this Moreno guy was, what's his name? Let me see if somebody put his name in here. No. But nonetheless, okay, that is the exact goal, okay? Because if you know about 15-minute cities, you should know that this is the ultimate goal. And as he said, it sounds so outrageous in the beginning that many people would say, well, this can't possibly happen. That's super outrageous. Nobody's going to vote for that. No judge or congressman or House representative person in their right mind's going to vote for that. Wrong. Okay, Isaiah 10:1. This is not going to be a long sit down either. Isaiah 10:1, it says, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Because technically we should have the right to travel and journey anywhere we so please. But see, bad Uncle Esau has set up a system where you need permission in the form of documentation to be able to do anything. Okay, as you well know, that there is a rule going out across the whole entire United States that by, I forgot what date it was, but when that date comes, everybody is going to either have to have the real ID, a United States passport card, or a passport, or some documentation that's the equivalent of that, to be able to travel domestically, let alone to be able to travel abroad. So to say that a bill like this probably will not catch momentum is highly unlikely. Okay, it's a very wicked design, as the man stated, to keep people trapped. Because when you go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, it tells you how a man is going to desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. And you have to think, what type of event and what type of laws and legislation would have to be put in place to make it hard for one person to travel to one city to another. Okay? 2nd Ezra 15 and 17, we're going to go straight to the point. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because things are going to be so strict. They don't want the average person traveling and journeying abroad the United States. Okay, they figure that is a privilege that should only be reserved for the rich. Now, speaking of the rich, now you have a lot of people that say, well, won't this affect people who are rich and have businesses? Not quite. Okay? First of all, you have to remember the old saying, rules for me, but not for thee. Okay? And I think there are different types of passports that allow people to travel. Let me put this on pause to see if I can get it. Okay, I found it. So it says the 4 main types of passports issued in the United States based on the holder's status and purpose of travel are the regular, official, diplomatic, and service passports. Here are the variations of the U.S. passport. Regular passport, navy blue cover. This is the most common type of issue to U.S. citizens for all kinds of personal travel, including tourism, business, and study. It is a standard travel document for the general public. Now you have an official passport, maroon cover, issued to U.S. government employees and contractors traveling abroad on official business, as well as members of the military on military duty. It is used for government-related work, but does not grant diplomatic immunity. Diplomatic passports, a black cover, issued to U.S. diplomats, high-ranking government officials, members of the Foreign Service, and their accompanying family members when on diplomatic assignments. This passport grants the bearer diplomatic immunity and special privileges in foreign countries. It says service passport, gray cover. This passport is issued to a specific narrow group of government employees who are traveling for official duties, but who do not qualify for an official or diplomatic passport. Okay, so as you can see from this, there are quite a few people who can slither into these other 3 categories. All right, all these rich people, what do they claim that they're doing? They got contracts with the government. They're doing business with the government. Or they have business overseas. Okay? They'll be able to slip through the cracks. Not to mention, they don't need a U.S. passport. Many of these super rich people, these diplomats, all right, these government and military personnel, all right, they have about 4, 5, 6 passports in different countries. Some of them in countries where they probably don't give passports to over maybe 100 people a year. So this thing that they're devising, you know, this unrighteous decree that they have passed, I've forgotten what state. Okay, this is going to gain momentum, and this is going to be all part of prophecy to keep people locked in. So that's all I wanted to say on this. I hope you all were edified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.